Unseen horror. How's everyone doing? This is going to be my video for unseen horror movies in my collection. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and let me know which one of these is your favorite and let me know which one I should watch first. Leave me those comments down below. But there's 12 movies in here, all that I haven't seen. I'm trying to go through my collection and every movie that I haven't seen, I gotta watch it before I get more movies in, because my wish list is just piling up and I gotta go through my watch pile list. And this is, 31 days of Halloween, spooky season. I want to watch these movies. I watch horror all year round. It's my favorite genre by far, but I ramp it up even more during the month of October. So I figured this would be a good time to knock out some of the horror movies that I haven't seen, some of my unseen horror. First up is a Twilight Time release for The Mad Magician in 3D. And Twilight Time is a company that, well, still actually, they came back, but they were a company for a while that were releasing limited edition Blu-rays. This is limited to 3,000 units. And then they went under, essentially, and then they came back, and now they're releasing a few. But this one stars Vincent Price as a mad magician, and it's Columbia Pictures' last entry in the 1950s 3D craze. And this sounds really interesting. It's a revenge tale. He's an illusionist, and it says it's tongue-in-cheek and some really frightening moments in here. And it's from director John Barram, who did The Lodger and Hangover Square. It says one of Hollywood's foremost stylists of the macabre. And this also has two 3D, 2D, 1953 comedy shorts starring the Three Stooges, Pardon My Backfire and Spooks. So Vincent Price, I'm sold right there. I'll watch anything that he's in. Let me know what your favorite Vincent Price movie is. And I'll take you inside here, give you a little tour. The booklet, interior artwork, how creepy is that? That's awesome. But there you go. I appreciate when they do the interior artwork. Twilight Time was one of my favorite companies releasing when they were around. But they did an amazing job with the transfers, the booklets. I like the clear case, the interior artwork. So, and then special features they could have bulked up on. That was one of my only criticisms. Kind of like Warner Archive too. They released some great films and have some good transfers and stuff like that. But they didn't have the booklets or the clear cases like this. But the special features was another thing that I wish they had more of. But I always liked their design too in the back. It was very easy to find the technical aspects right there. The year that it was made, and then the time and all the technical stuff right there. All boxed and easy to find. A lot of movies you can't find it, or it's very hard to see. So I appreciate that. Nice little things like that. Next up is Children of the Night, an artsploitation film release. This is from Argentina. It says Let the Right One In meets Twilight. Oof, I don't know how I feel about the Twilight aspect. Let the Right One In is a classic, a transcendent horror movie, a classic vampire movie, and Let Me In was a good American remake, but it was unnecessary. Basically, a journalist visits a secluded orphanage to write about the unknown skin disease, but they find out they're vampires, up to 120 years old, and there's a 90-year-old grandson of Count Dracula, and they're forced to defend their way of life against people who are, I guess, hunting them. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. I've had this for a while. It's long overdue. The vampire film that I haven't checked out. I feel like there's been a wave of vampire movies. Red Sky was a really good one recently on Netflix. If you're into vampire movies, I definitely recommend checking that one out. Kind of underrated. I didn't hear really anybody talk about that one, but love that one. So this is one I definitely plan on watching soon. And let me know what your favorite vampire movie is and an underrated vampire movie. I'm going to do a list of my top 10 underrated vampire movies coming up soon. Next up is Lucia Furnia, also from Artsploitation Films and also from Argentina. So a couple Argentinian horror movies right there. Argentina is doing a lot of really good horror movies recently. Terrified is one that I thought was excellent. It was a little rough around the edges in certain parts, but it had some really uber creepy moments in here. This one looks like it's going to be super tense as well, and looks like it's going to have some dark, gritty scenes in here. And it says on the back here, religion, repressed sexuality, innocence, and evil spectacularly collide in this visually explosive horror tale. So Natalia is a 19-year-old who goes to the jungle in search of the mythical plant, the ayahuasca, which is that like a drug thing? I don't know. I think it makes you like trip out and stuff. I feel like I've heard about it in, different stories and movies. But they find a world of black masses, strange pregnancies, and bloody deaths, and for the nun herself, a sexually violent clash with the devil himself. So yeah, a group of friends go in there, and it's, I guess, focusing on Natalia, who I guess is a nun. So this sounds crazy and wild, and that shot looks awesome. So looking forward to checking this one out. Next up, for the Blu-rays, again, there were some Blu-rays, and then there's going to be 3 DVDs after this, but this Blu-ray set comes from Australia. It's from Imprint. Imprint is doing some amazing releases. They're releasing a lot of films that we don't have releases for over in the US, and all the ones that I've checked out have been region free, so I'm very thankful for that. There's 6 movies in here. This is Silver Screams Cinema, and it says 6 spine-chilling early horror films resurrected from deep within the Paramount vaults. The Phantom Speaks from 1945. It says a dead criminal takes possession of the living mind. And Vampire's Ghost from 1945. The spell of a man who couldn't die weaves a web of horror. Return of Ape Man, 1944. A half-mad scientist, not a full mad one, brings back to life the frozen body of a prehistoric ape man. I haven't seen the original Ape Man, so I don't know if I need to. I might not. Maybe it's just called Return of the Ape Man, because there's, the returning of this prehistoric ape man character, and not that there was a movie before it. But next up is Valley of the Zombies from 1946. A mad undertaker restored by a potion has an all-consuming need for blood. She-Devil from 1957. A dying patient is transformed into a murderous femme fatale. And then The Unknown Terror from 1957. Mysterious disappearance of Jim Wheatley leads to terror. So really short synopsis on all of these ones, but I love what they're doing with their releases, and especially their box sets like this. Really beautiful design, and it comes off like that. And I'll go ahead and show you all of these, and they come in 3 cases like this. And you got the Phantom Speaks right there, and on the back side you've got the Vampire's Ghost with John Abbott, and then they're on 1 disc each. And then on the back here, they have the synopsis and special features for each one. And they have special features for these, and I definitely appreciate that. Next up is Return of the Ape Man with Bela Lugosi and John Carradine. So definitely excited for that. And then Valley of the Zombies. And again, on 1 disc. And then we've got She-Devil, and then Unknown Terror. The artwork is definitely something that would make me want to pick these up. Impulse buys for sure. I'm excited to check these ones out, all of them, and find out maybe some hidden gems in here. And I definitely appreciate, especially, 50s horror, the Cold War era, sci-fi, creature feature, stuff like that. I don't know if any of these will be quite like that, but I'm definitely a fan of 50s horror. There's only a few 40s horror that I've seen. Let me know what your favorite 40s horror movie is, and your favorite 50s horror movie, and what your favorite decade for horror movies is. For me, it's the 80s, closely followed by the 70s. So definitely excited to check these 6 movies out. Silver Screams Cinema set. Some interesting titles in here and synopsis for them. And then next up are the 3 DVDs. We've got Prey, which is actually a BBC miniseries. And the tagline is "The Hunter Becomes the Hunted." And it's a detective who's trying to clear his name of a brutal crime. And then a prison guard who is trying to save the life of his threatened daughter. And I guess it's going to be very tense, and that's pretty much the synopsis of it. Again, mentioning the tagline, "The Hunter Becomes the Hunted." So makes me think of another movie called Hunter x Hunter, which recently came out with Devon Sawa. I heard a lot of hype for that movie, but I was definitely disappointed in that one. It's all about the ending for that. The ending is phenomenal, but to get there, it just kind of drags out. It's very predictable and formulaic. You know who the killer is. It's no big secret. There's only a few characters there. So I don't know, I was just expecting more from, especially hearing all the hype and positive reviews for it. But I love the ending, but I just don't know if I'd want to sit through the rest of it to get there. But hopefully Prey will be better than that. BBC's had some really good miniseries, so I'm definitely excited for checking this one out. The Fades, starring, hold on, I got it right here, Daniel Kaluuya. He was in Get Out, and he won an Oscar as well recently. And the Oscar acceptance speech is one of the cringiest, worst acceptance speeches I've ever heard. But he's a very talented actor, Daniel Kaluuya. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. But he was in The Fades, which was a BBC miniseries that only had 1 season. Really good horror supernatural series. I would definitely recommend checking that one out, even though it only had the 1 season. But definitely deserved more. So I'm looking forward to more BBC horror series. And next up is Relic. This sounds intriguing. This is another BBC series. This guy right here looks like he's burned up, and it's all about the story of a serial killer, and it's told in reverse. So starting at the end, the prime suspect's caught, and it goes backwards about the string of gruesome murders, and then the detective who's become obsessed by it, and he was physically and mentally marked by the serial killer. As the series unravels, you find out more about, I guess, both of them, the crimes and then the detective. And it reminds me of the movie Irreversible from Gaspar Noé, which is another movie that didn't really live up to the hype for me personally. I felt like it was kind of a gimmick. The beginning was definitely riveting, and I appreciated that. But after that, just, I don't know, it felt like I said, like a gimmick. And then the one scene that everybody talks about, I don't know, I didn't think, if you've seen the I Spit on Your Grave movies, you've seen stuff like that before, especially the newer ones. I just felt like it was a longer scene for that, but I didn't think it was anything, worse than the I Spit on Your Grave ones. But again, I wasn't the biggest fan of that one. I know I'm in the minority in that. Everybody raves about that one. But it's just another movie that I can think of where it's told in reverse. So this sounds interesting. I like anything dealing with, serial killer stories and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to checking this one out. Looks like it's going to have palpable tension throughout. And next up is Russian Bride. This is a Walmart Select title I got at the Dollar Tree. And Corbin Burnsen's in here. He was the main draw for me because the cover initially didn't really do it for me. But then the back actually looked really tense. And I like Corbin Burnsen a lot. Let me know what your favorite Corbin Burnsen movie is. He was the dentist. Everybody talks about, Dr. Giggles. What about the dentist? That was a really entertaining one when I was younger. He was also in Tales from the Hood. It's one of my favorite segments in that one. David Alan Grier one, and then the Corbin Burnsen one. But yeah, this one sounds interesting, and it looks really, again, the scenes on the back look really tense and suspenseful. So that definitely drew me in. It's a Russian woman and her daughter moved to America to marry a reclusive billionaire played by Corbin Burnsen, and then he turns out to be a crazy person, and they have to fight to survive against them. So I'm intrigued for this one. Initially, the front cover didn't really do it for me. The back cover, they should have put some of those scenes on there to really sell it. But there you go. Those are the 12 unseen horror movies and series that I will be checking out soon for unseen horror. I'm trying to go through all of the movies in my collection that I haven't seen yet, and before I get more, I got to go through the watch pile. I don't know if that'll work or not, but I'm trying. Let me know if you guys have the same problem, if you have a bunch of unseen movies in your collection and your watch pile is stacking up, but so is your wish list too. And let me know if you've seen these movies and what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite, and let me know which one I should watch first. Leave me those comments down below. And I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.